Good morning, and today's session is Ielts, the International English Language Testing System. Now, there are two types of Ielts. One, the academic Ielts, and two, the general Ielts. The academic Ielts is usually written by students who want to pursue the studies abroad, and the general Ielts is generally preferred by people who want to migrate abroad, or rather immigrate abroad, or for PR purpose. So this is used by both working professionals and also students. Now, what is this Ielts and what is this format for Ielts is what we are going to see as we are going to see the session today. Now, there are four categories in Ielts. 1, listening, 2, speaking, 3, reading, and 4, writing. It is abbreviated as LSRW. And generally, out of these four formats, listening, reading, writing is done in one stretch, and speaking is done separately. Generally, 3 days before or 3 days after the speaking round, the listening, reading, and writing round happens. And you have separate scores for listening, reading, and writing. See, as I said, there are two categories. One is general and second is academic. Now, listening and speaking is a common for both academic and general rounds, whereas writing and reading, there is a small variation between academic Ielts and general Ielts. Now, how are people ranked or graded? Now, the grade or ranking is from 0 to 9, where 9 is an expert user and 0 is an entry band. So any countries abroad requires a minimum band of 5.5 and above. Okay. The countries which you can have in mind is the US, the UK, the Canada, the Australia, or New Zealand. It requires a minimum band of 5.5 and above. And as you try bigger universities, the expectation of the band goes up to 7, 8, even to 8.5. And so what is this Ielts? And let me share a small presentation with you. This is an international English language testing system. It proves your English skill. It's accepted by 6,000 institutions worldwide. It's a test that sets the standard around the world, offered more than 4 times a year, 125 countries, and it has 500 test centers worldwide. It is generally testing your receptive skill and your productive skill. Okay, receptive skills include your listening and reading, and productive skills include your writing and speaking ability. So the total is about 174 minutes or 2 hours and 45 minutes. See, the first part is listening. It has 4 recordings. The first recording is a conversation between the two. The second is a monologue. Recording 3 is a conversation before 4, and recording 4 is again a monologue. And 1 is on a social context, 2 is on local facilities, 3 is on university facilities, and recording 4 is on a university lecture. So just to give you an example, it can be like a person who's looking out for a job, calling a job consultancy. He or she introduces herself, and the consultancy gives some timing, the dress attire required for the job. So the questions can be, now, the name of the person who called, what is the time he or she called, what is the dress attire that the person was supposed to wear. So it tests your memory capacity. So what have you listened? It tests your memory capacity, is tested in the listening skill. Another example I can give is a tour itinerary given by a tour operator, and they will test what happens on day 3 or day 4. So some questions revolving your ability to listen and reproduce. That's what happens in your listening test. See, IELTS listening, it's for 60 minutes. There are 40 questions. There are 3 long tests. What they test in reading is reading for gist, reading for main ideas, reading for details, skimming. It tests your logical arguments, recognizing writer's opinion, attitudes and purpose. And it is generally taken from books, journals, magazines and newspapers. Coming to writing, IELTS writing, there are 2 tasks. One is a 250 word response, another is a 150 word response. If you think IELTS is only English, here you have mathematics, the graphs and the table chart, but this mathematical part is only for academic IELTS, it's not for general IELTS. So you are expected to give an introduction to your writing, 2 body paragraphs and a conclusion. And you can either agree or disagree to a statement, or you can talk about the advantages, disadvantages, discuss both views, give your opinion or give your problem or solution. It can be like topic can be like a driverless car. Correct. This can be some topic which is given to you, and you have to talk about the advantages and disadvantages. Right. Now coming to the next topic is Ielts Speaking. See, generally the Ielts, it tests 4 of your main parameters. One is your grammar, second is your vocabulary, third is your fluency or coherence, and fourth is your pronunciation. And this is tested in both speaking and your writing skills. So speaking, it is for 11 to 14 minutes. Personal interview happens for 4 to 5 minutes, which is part 1, which they ask you about your home, family, job, studies and interest. And there is a little speech for 3 to 4 minutes in part 2, where they give you a task card, they give you time 1 minute, take notes, and then speak for 1 to 2 minutes. And then there is a discussion for 4 to 5 minutes. This is the part 3. The discussion will be on abstract issues thematically related to little speech. Just to give you an example, they can ask you what is the hotel you last stayed, how was your experience in the hotel, how will you rank the hotel. That can be the little speech. And this can be linked to speech 2. So that is part 3. They can ask you whether 5-star hotels is worth the cost that you are paying. So part 3 is thematically related to the part 2. So that is the LSRW, the listening, speaking, reading, writing in a nutshell. And I can ensure that this whole IELTS is made a cakewalk, and you score 7 and more as you get into the session with me in the Sulekha eLearn. I do come abroad. The future abroad beholds to you. And India wants the next Satya Nadella from you. India wants the next Sundar Pichai from you. And India wants the next Kamal Harris from you. And I'm there to ensure that your journey abroad through IELTS is smooth and safe. Thank you so much.